This is the Sports Loudmouth.
631-672-3108 is the number to call. You're listening to the Sports Loudmouth. I'm your host, Darryl Marks, my co-host, Speedy. Speedy, go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Check out all our shows throughout the week, including the Loudmouth with me and Speedy Petey every single Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. All you have to do to tune in and check out our local listing for all our shows is go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. We're now talking to former Chargers, Cardinals, Panthers, and Ravens cornerback, our friend Antoine Kaysen. Antoine, what's up, buddy?
Oh man, what's up, fellas? Thanks for having me back, and you're welcome for having me back.
Well, we're happy that you're back. I'm not happy that you played for University of Miami. You know what I feel about Miami, but nevertheless, I love you, Antoine. I love everything about you. You being on the show. That's what makes you, your personality, 7 years in the NFL. By the way, has anybody told you look like Devontae Smith?
No, I've never heard that. I haven't heard that one.
Listen, it's a compliment. A lot to get into with the NFL season. It's been crazy. The quarterback play has been horrible. It really hasn't been good. In the first 3 weeks, first of all, we've only have one 300-yard quarterback this season so far. So that's crazy. Patrick Mahomes has had his worst 3-game start in his career. What is going on right now with the quarterback play?
It's very interesting, and it's very tough sometimes to watch. And it gets to the point where, okay, when I came into the league, there were not this many rookies starting. I do wish this many rookie quarterbacks were starting. I would have had way more interceptions. When I came into the AFC where you had Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. We had all of these guys in one conference, and now everyone just keeps saying rookie quarterbacks should start. It's kind of interesting. I think they need to be able to develop a little bit and do their thing. Maybe Ben Roethlisberger was the only one who started right away, but you have to think Tom Brady sat behind someone. Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre. Phillip Rivers sat behind Drew Brees. Peyton Manning came in right away, but he did throw a million interceptions. But the development of these guys isn't there as much anymore, and it's kind of tough to watch. And it's not all their fault. I do feel that coaching can be better too. It's not always just the player's fault. Coaching can help the player. If you're going to draft this player this high and you're going to force him to play this soon and pay him the money because you're saying I'm paying him the money to play, then maybe tailor something around him and help him out. Let him run if he wants to run. I don't agree with, well, you have to sit in the pocket, you have to pass. But then at the same time, I don't agree with just have to run. So it becomes tough. And I think sometimes these quarterbacks aren't really understanding the defenses. They're not really understanding the reads because in the college you have cards and you look to the sideline and you clap your hands and someone moves and you look back to the coach and you're not really making the decision based on what you see on the field. The coach is telling you what to do. So then they get to the NFL and they kind of struggle a little bit. But I mean, if you're going to do that, then you have to let them go through these growing pains.
We saw the Chiefs yesterday really get lucky on a pass interference call that definitely looked like it definitely could have been. And you as a former defensive back yourself, like, what are your thoughts on the NFL, the way they handle pass interference, has changed all the rules? And do you think the Chiefs have gotten some treatment more than these other teams?
Well, I won't say that, but me, and this is another thing you guys don't know, is I'm on my journey to get back to the NFL as an official. I'm officiating football games. I'm in a Division I official now. And so seeing that, to me, I could talk about it because I don't get fined. I feel that is pass interference. It's tough, right? Because that is a critical point in the game. However, a foul is a foul. As an official, you have to call that. I don't know what that official's vantage point is, so I don't want to speak on him specifically from the TV copy. From what Antoine sees, I'm not speaking about the back judge or whatever he saw or whatever position he was in or his vantage point. I don't want to speak on that. From this, in my opinion, that is pass interference. It didn't get called, so I guess he didn't feel it was, but I wouldn't say that it's Kansas City's preferential treatment. I don't agree with that.
We beg to differ, my friend. That's what I'm saying.
And that's okay. I just think, again, officials are humans. They're down there trying to do their best to make the right call. Sometimes it's just like a player. There is a lot of pressure on these officials to make the right call. In different situations, maybe sometimes it happened. I don't think it's for any reason other than I just didn't make the call. It's not about the Chiefs. It's not about anything. They just didn't make the call. And us watching TV, yes, that's pass interference, in my opinion.
We are talking to former Chargers, Cardinals, Panthers, and Ravens cornerback Antoine Cason. By the way, he's Division I referee. He wants to be an NFL referee. He probably will be. By the way, look at that. Come on.
Come on, you know
man.
what? I used to get John Wall.
Come on.
This guy, I guess I could see it, but you know,
get out of here. You look identical. Stop it.
I know we need the John Wall comparison. Bishop, get on it now. John Wall and him.
We love Antoine. And
yeah.
by the way, Antoine, the game has changed, obviously, since you've played. You look at these corners, and there's a lot of good ones. Stingley is a great corner. Obviously, Sauce Gardner here in New York. We've seen a lot of these guys, you know, really just pop out of nowhere and become, well, they didn't pop out of nowhere, but they're becoming superstars. Like in the first year they step on an NFL football field. When you look at the game and the transition of the game, and obviously the rules are going towards the offensive side of the ball, and you see these athletic, long, even small, talented, fast corners, what do you see as when you look at guys that you played with or guys that you've seen on the football field, like Darrelle Revis and Richard Sherman? What is the difference between the corner play that when you were playing and when you played on the field from now?
Definitely a different league. And when I came into the league, there were more veteran players, which the veteran presence is lost. But at the same time, these guys are so athletic. I mean, you think of nowadays, they're starting to train speed, quickness, technique at 5, 6, 7 years old. I mean, do you think these kids are not going to be great when they get there? Like, of course, the game has evolved to be much better. And like you said, you see a Sauce Gardner who Antonio Cromartie was 6'3", came off an ACL and ran 4'3" and caught with one hand. And these athletes, we're the same. It's just, maybe it's just a little bit more widespread with the social media aspect, because when I first came into the league or when I was in college and all of these things, we didn't have social media to kind of promote certain plays or things we did at practice or things that we were able to do in the weight room and to see some of the athletic things. So I don't think it's that these guys are actually that much better than us. I think it's the exposure and being able to see them do these things more often is what helps. And I'm all for it. I love it. And these guys are good, and it's well deserved. So it's great to see. But I've seen a lot of things at practice, and sometimes I'm like, well, I wish I had social media when I was in college or at practice in the pros to see some of the things that I've done and then be able to market those things. But that's the involvement of the game, and that's what it should be, and it's great to see it.
So there were some interesting comments made last week by Mel Kiper, who I know you're not a safety, but he was making comments about defensive backs that the NFL should ban 2 deep safeties playing cover 2. They should always have a tackle or safety playing like a linebacker to tackle. What are your thoughts to that ridiculous kind of comment?
Well, Mel Kiper said that?
Yes. Yeah, last week.
I mean, gosh, well, he's an idiot for that. But I mean, if I mean, saying I can't play 2 high safeties is almost saying like, you can't put 5 wide receivers on the field. I mean, let's get real. Like, get out of here. We can play defense however we want to play defense, however we want to disguise, and that's what we're gonna do. So that guy, whatever. No, not at all. You play defense how you want.
He needs to stop with his drafting too. I mean,
I mean, he must know something that knows somebody that knows something. Because for that guy to do that, I mean, hey. But he's been doing it for a long time.
Well, you know what? Somebody's paying somebody. You know, maybe I need to do that. Pay somebody under the table. Maybe I should reach out to Roger. Roger don't like me, so I doubt he's going to let me pay anything. So, and by the way, my question to you. And by the way, we are talking to former Chargers, Cardinals, Panthers, Ravens cornerback Antoine Cason. He's been on our show before. Great personality, great things. And now he's refereeing and I didn't know that, but I'm sure he'll be in the NFL soon. So I'm not going to throw him under the bus. But everybody that listens to this show knows that I'm not a big fan of Roger Goodell. Okay, everybody knows my thoughts to Roger Goodell, what I think about him as a person, what he's done to players, what he doesn't do for players that haven't or are not getting, obviously the benefits that they should or should get, being that they've really helped the game grow the way they have over the past and over the years. You look at all the different things that have happened over the years, the CTE situation, or I can call a scandal, or even some of these different rules that they think they're protecting players, but it's even causing more concussion issues. And turf, how about the turf? All these different things, knees, Achilles, all these other stuff. If they want to protect the players, why don't you just turn it into grass and stop with this damn turf? What are your thoughts to some of the comments that Roger Goodell has had over the years? I don't want to throw you under the bus, and I don't want to do that, but your thoughts to what he hasn't done from the former player or to the former player, and what he should do to help the players right now in the NFL.
Well, speaking of Roger, I don't know Roger I don't know him personally at all. Roger Goodell, please call me. Let's have a conversation. But no, I don't know Roger Goodell, and the thing that I do know is that Roger Goodell represents the owners, right? Which is the NFL, and that is his job. And we as players have a player union. So when are we going to start holding our union leaders accountable and stop talking about Roger Goodell, right? Roger Goodell sounds like he's doing his job. And there's other people that maybe need to step up and do theirs. Again, I don't know all of the facts, so I won't speak on that. But Roger Goodell represents the owners, the league, and his job, of course, is to protect the integrity of the league via owners' interests, right? So we have a players union and we have a union president, which maybe we should start looking into that. And
me,
and
could you imagine me standing there
and seeing how we can do different things through that, right? Let's do that. A CBA is coming up. Players have to band together a little bit stronger. We have to be a little bit more together and get together and start talking about things maybe that we want to see our league look like. And, again, owners are owners. I'm not an owner, so I'm not going to act like I want to get the same benefit as an owner. That's just not what it is. However, as players, we can get together and ask for different things that help us be a little bit more progressive and be a little bit more in tune with what we do out there on the field and put butts in the seats. So the NFL does do a great job of continuing to advance the game. And I feel you about Roger Goodell. If those are your feelings, those are your feelings. I don't know him personally, but I do know what his job is, and it sounds like he's doing it very well. And again, we have to get to our players union and start demanding a little bit more there, or not even demanding, just start the conversation there. Help players in different ways and do different things with different benefits, or, different field conditions and different this and different that. So I would think that's where the conversation should start, and then just kind of go from there and continue to grow this league in every way that we can.
You know what I'm going to do? I'll reach out to Jerry Jones. I'll reach out to Robert Kraft and take him to a massage parlor. That's what I'll do. And
I mean, you know what? I think they have that covered. I think you have to do something different for them.
Let's reach out to Deshaun too. Maybe he could be one of the speakers.
Well, I think he's got that covered too.
Hey, Draymond Green can come too.
Yeah,
himself, on social media still.
Yeah, they sound like they're doing very well.
I will say that I should speak. I should speak for the players. I don't know if Roger Goodell is going to want me to speak. Who the hell are you? But I have a mouth and I know how to use it. Well, not in those ways, but you know what I mean. I know how to use it.
I was going to say someone just went to jail for this. Okay, you got to be careful with that kind of stuff.
He's shameless. He doesn't care. All right, back to more stabilization here. I know you're also a big Arizona Wildcats guy. They have a very impressive wide receiver, McMillan. I don't even know how to pronounce his first name. I've never seen that kind of name.
There he is. Okay.
Oh, there's the John Wall one.
I can see that. I can see that.
That's what I hear. Look, I don't know, but hey, I hear that.
I can see it.
Maybe both of you could try to make an NBA roster together. He's been trying to come back for the last 2 years.
Oh God.
Well, I mean, I wish I had a John Wall contract right now. I would like one of those.
Those basketball players make way too much money. Holy crap, do they make some money, man? Oh.
Yeah.
Starts with your union.
Starts with me.
So, yeah, I wanted to ask about McMillan at Arizona and that Arizona growth of that program the last 2 years. They were struggling for a while, and now they've been one of the better teams, and now in a new conference as well, going to the Big 12, moving from the Pac-12, which is now the Pac-6 or the Pac-12 and a half. So what are your thoughts of the way Arizona's played this year and grown as a program, even changing coaches as well?
Well, I mean, Arizona has grown as a program tremendously, and Coach Fish now, who when he was at Arizona, now he's at Washington. He has done a great job there and took those guys, took that team to where it was, won a bowl game against Oklahoma. And as you can see, the quarterback, the receiver, and the middle backer, they're all from where? Southern California. So, it's just what we do. But they've played so well, and then getting a new coach. That what people forget about getting another new coach is it's so much of a shift of energy. That's taxing on these kids who have a lot of responsibility. They still have to go to school. They have to be up at 5, 6 in the morning, work out, go to school, study hall, practice, film, continue to win, change conferences. The school's going through changes. They don't know their careers in limbo. NIL, what do I do? Agents calling, people wanting this, family pulling and tugging. There are a lot of things that are on these young men and women, young men and women. These are kids when we think about it, right? You get to college at 17, 18, and you leave at 22-ish. These are young people, and to continue to shift that energy in so many ways and pulling and tugging, for them to still be doing as well as they're doing is a testament to what these student athletes have to go through and with it and how they're built. So the Arizona program is doing well. There's still a lot of things to clean up there, of course. Like everyone could be better. I want to see us be undefeated every year and compete and changing conferences and then getting your ass whooped on Friday. Like I don't like that part of it, but sometimes you got to take an ass whooping and sit back again, sit down and figure out what you have to do. So Arizona has a lot of work to do. I'm still always behind Arizona. I will always say that every time I get anywhere. But a lot of work to do. But I'm just super proud of what those boys have done. They're Southern California boys. They went to Servite High School. I reffed them actually in a scrimmage my first year officiating, and just being able to see them up close and personal, especially as high school kids, and then to see how they've developed and their fathers are in their lives and keeping them together and all of that stuff. That's just, again, let me highlight that their fathers are in their lives and keeping them together through this NIL stuff where I'm sure people were pulling and tugging at them to go take money elsewhere, and they stayed together and they stayed teammates and continued to be leaders of that team. That is huge. So, shout out to them. I commend them for all of that.
And by the way, we are talking to Antoine Cason, been in the NFL for 7 years, had a great career, played for the Chargers, Cardinals, Panthers, Ravens. And by the way, it's not easy playing the NFL for 7 years. As a matter of fact, the average, player that actually makes it to the NFL only plays 3 years. So to play 7 years says what he was, and a great teammate. What I've heard some stories from guys that we've had on the show saying that Antoine Cason was a very good teammate. Antoine, the one thing that I see about the game that is going to change, and it's going to change quick, is these new rules. And I've watched, when I watch college football, I love it because you want to see more offense. If you want more offense, why do these players have to have 2 feet in? Just have 1 foot in. If you can have 60, 70, 80 point games right now in the NFL if they just have 1 foot in. Now, I know the NFL wants to make it harder, but if they want more offense, then that's the way to go instead of changing all these rules. I don't like these new rule changes. It doesn't help the game, the kickoff and this and that. Just, add a couple, implicate some of these college football rules in the NFL, and there'll be more scoring. No question, there'll be more scoring, 70, 80 points.
Yeah, I hear you, but I don't agree. If I'm in college and I get 1 foot in and I step up to the league, I need to get 2 feet in. That's just becoming a better player now. So now you want to have a better brand of football, and these guys have plenty of skills. Get 2 feet in the field, and if you can't, then you don't. Then you didn't catch it. I think there's plenty of offense. Again, I just think you stepping up to a different level of football. You have to be better. We have the best collection of athletes at the NFL level, so there's plenty of points. The rules. As an official, I'm on these calls with the officials, and a lot of them are safety rules. I understand. The only thing that sometimes I say is, well, why are we changing safety rules and adding games? Now, I don't understand that part, but again, I'm not part of that committee to change any of that. I'm just here to be an official and uphold the integrity of the game and call what I see and be able to speak to these young men in a way that I understand what they're going through. But I think the kickoff thing is. Am I a big fan of it? No, but I don't have a say so in it. And it takes away some of the strategy, right? The surprise on side and the bloop kick and some of those things that we've seen football be as a strategy. It takes it away, but I'm pretty sure these coaches will figure out a way to create some strategy on how to get some onsides, bloop it right over into the landing zone and someone go get it. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to see what that is. And most of it is safety fouls. And we want the game to be a safer game, and it is a safer game. And being on the official side, I get to see that a lot more. And I try to speak about different things when I can and try and keep my opinions to myself sometimes as a player and just try and see it as a whole. But nonetheless, it's fun. I'm freaking enjoying it. This ride has been good. So the rule changes have been okay.
So last question for me. We had an NFL Network guy, our friend Steve Weish, who said that your former quarterback, Phillip Rivers, is not a Hall of Famer. You want to fire some shots at him and saying why he is?
I've done
well, you know what? Hey, I may have a controversial take on this too now, right? Because what you were just saying is that, we want more offense. Well, we've got more freaking offense. We've got Dak Prescott, who's throwing for just as many yards as Patrick Mahomes, but he can't win a playoff game. So in the past, those are Hall of Fame numbers. What I say now, no, you're not Hall of Fame. You got to win one now, should be kind of the deal. Like, anyone could go out here and throw for 4,000 or 5,000 yards now. Okay, like we could go throw for 4,000 or 5,000 yards. Can you win a playoff game and can you win a Super Bowl when the shit matters, when the best quarterbacks are in these playoffs? So let's stop talking about regular season numbers now. Like Dan Marino's era, that's cool. He threw for all those yards. That's when no one
played in a hard era too. I mean,
no, I'm not talking about Phillip Rivers. He was my teammate, so I'm going to leave that alone. I'm just saying now, my controversial take is, if you want to continue, if you want to call someone a Hall of Fame quarterback today,
right,
you have to win one now. Like, I'm not just putting everyone in the Hall of Fame because you threw for 5,000 yards every season and won 3 freaking playoff games. That's crap. Like, that's not Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame is you were balling, you won some, like, at least win an AFC or NFC championship. Like, not just throw for a lot of yards and touchdowns and then don't win anything. Like, again, we talk about Dak Prescott all the time, and I hate to single him out like this, but yes, they put his stats up with Patrick Mahomes, but there's no comparison. This guy has Super Bowl wins, and this one doesn't. I'm taking Patrick Mahomes all day. I don't give a damn how many yards you throw for in the regular season. You can't win when it matters. And that's what everyone will say. That's what I would say, right? That's what if you're married, like, hey, can you perform when it matters? No. So she doesn't want you either. So why would I want to continue to put you in the Hall of Fame?
Well, I don't think first of all, Dak needs to do more to go to the Hall of Fame, but I like Dak Prescott, and it has a lot to do with the team too. It's not only him; the defense needs to stop people too.
I understand that, but if you're going to be the leader of the team and demand all this money, then how are you going to be the leader of the team and get your defense together, get your team together to band together to win a goddamn game? So don't demand all this money if you cannot lead your band of brothers, your team of men, to some wins. How do you will your team to some wins? If you're a leader, if I'm paying you $200 million twice, what are you going to do? This is on you now. Can't keep blaming Jerry. We can't keep blaming different things. You're demanding this and you're getting it. What are we getting in return for that? So if that's what we're going to do, yeah, you deserve $200 million. Yes, you played very well. How are you going to help us now win? Get your guys I don't know, take them to dinner, take them out, do something, but get them to where they want to start playing and winning some games.
I'll hang them. I'll bring them to Robert Kraft's house. That'll be cool.
Hey, I don't know what goes on there, but it sounds like it's a good time.
Well, you know what? You don't go over there and try to ref over there.
No, I won't be there. If I get an invite, I won't accept. I'll respectfully decline.
Well, we really appreciate you, man. And by the way, I do believe in Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer. There's no question. I believe he's a Hall of Famer. What he did, and even played on a torn ACL, he did the way he did. And actually, listen, he had good teams, and there's no question he should. I thought he should have went to the Super Bowl at least one of those years. But nevertheless, the guy is a warrior, and Steve Wyche is absolutely wrong. That guy is a Hall of Famer. He has the best numbers out of all those quarterbacks. No, he didn't win, but Pittsburgh had. I mean, that Pittsburgh defense is unbelievable. And whatever Eli did, he did great things, and there's no question that he did. But that defense, what they did in the playoffs in 2007 and 2011, were unbelievable. So you have to have a team to win a championship too. You know that, Antoine. So, but the quarterback
you have to have some good leaders. So just because you're a quarterback does not make you a leader. Is all I'm trying to say.
I got you, man.
That's it. Like, just because you're a quarterback does not make you a leader. That's all my point is. I'm not talking about anyone specifically. I'm just saying, just because you're a quarterback does not make you the leader of the team. We saw Baltimore Ravens win the Super Bowl. Who was the leader of that team? That's all I'm saying.
That's the bottom line, because Antoine Kaysen says so. I'm just kidding. Anyways, Antoine, we love you. Thank you for joining us as always. We'd love to get you on again, as always. And it's nice to know that you're getting back into the game, and we'll see you on an NFL screen again soon.
Hey, man, I love this game. I'm here for it. Been doing this stuff since I was 7 years old, baby. So you'll see me back on an NFL field because I'm busting my ass to do it. That's the determination that I've always had. That's what got me there the first time. That's what's going to get me there the second time. I will be there. And then I won't maybe be able to talk too much to you guys, because then you're going to be asking me about calls and I can't do
No,
that.
I'm not.
We'll have the updated image of you and Devontae Smith next to each other.
No, when you're on the football field, you're going to invite us to the game so we can be on the field with you.
And, we could just talk trash, when we're there.
I'll do the trash talk. You don't have to do anything. I'll do the trash.
We'll especially do it if it's the Chiefs.
But again, I love this game. I do. I really enjoy it. I being an official, it helps me do everything that I did as a player. I get to work out. I get to watch film. I get to be a part of a team, which are the officials. I get to travel with the officials. I get to go to meetings with the officials. We get to have, conversations about the game. I get to go on the field. I get to talk to the coaches. I get to talk to the players. I get to do everything I was doing as a player except hit, tackle, catch, run. And I'm not even trying to do it anymore. So that's what's great about, being an official. And I'm the closest thing to the game other than the players. Coaches have to stay in the box. Officials, I can get in the mix, baby. I'm in there. I love it.
Well, we love you, and you keep up the good work, and you keep officiating. And when you make it, I want to be on that football field, the first officiating game in your NFL career as an officiator. How about that?
How about that?
Yeah.
We need a ref draft.
Maybe I should be a referee. What do you guys think about me being a referee?
Oh yeah. Good luck.
Jeff will finally get the calls.
I don't know about that. I'll be like, damn you little bastard. Just screwing up. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
But anyways, Antoine, we love you. Keep up the good work. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. Good talking with you fellas.
Antoine Kaysen. Oh, he's officiator. Look at that. A referee, Speedy. You didn't even know that.
I did not.
Look at that. He's going to be on the NFL field again. I guarantee it. And that's what's great. These guys, they work their butts off as players, and now he wants to step on a football field again as officiator. And I think he will. There's no question that I think he will. And he's hardworking. And you got to work hard to be the best. And to be the best, you got to show up and train. And you heard what he has to do. He has to do the same stuff he had to do when he was a football player. It's just, you got to know the rules, and you got to be the guy that's making them. Or calling them. Anyways, there's a lot of calls that I have to make. But before we go and make those calls, I want to get into this story. SNY's Ian Begley reports that Mitchell Robinson will miss at least the first 2 months of the season after getting an ankle surgery. Begley said that Robinson will likely be back late December, early January, which would be 20 games into the season. Robinson played 31 games last season and missed time in the playoffs after the incident with Joel Embiid. The Knicks have questions with their size of losing Isaiah Hartenstein this offseason, and if Robinson is hurt, their only center is Precious Achua and Jericho Sims. Tom Thibodeau has also mentioned that Julius Randle could play center if the Knicks had to be small. Reports say that Clint Capella and Robert Williams are the most likely trade targets for the Knicks if they try to trade for a center before the season starts. They've been going after Clint Capella for a while. I think he fits most with the way Tom Thibodeau likes to play with his centers. What do they have to give up to get Clint Capella is the question. I'm not surprised. If you're a Mitchell Robinson fan, this is a guy that is – Mitchell is robbing the New York Knicks. Now, he has a good contract, 4 years, $60 million. He's there for at least another 2 more years before the Knicks decide or have the opportunity to move him. Mitch, when he's on the court, he's a good player. He's a great player as far as defense is concerned and blocking. He's one of the best in the league. He's not a good offensive player, but you don't need it when you have Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges and all the players that they brought in. This defense, when he is in the lineup with OG Anunoby and the players that they have, this could be one of the best defensive teams in the NBA, but we're not going to know until January or February. This is bad news. And the reason why is the Knicks are playing, or they're going to have to play small all season long. I do not want Julius Randle to be my 5. That teams are going to take advantage of. He is not a good defensive player as it is. I don't know how this makes sense. Now, the Knicks are going to have problems against big teams like the Celtics. They're going to have big problems with teams like Giannis and Milwaukee. Losing Hartenstein is more of a big loss than anybody expects. Now, Mikal Bridges is a great defensive player, and he's a great two-way player, but he doesn't have the size that you're going to need at that center position. Now, Jericho Sims, he's okay. He's not a good player. I don't know why anybody thinks that he is. He's okay. I mean, but nothing to brag about. I was very surprised that the Knicks didn't go after a center in the draft or bring somebody in, a youngster, from the draft in the first round, maybe move up and try to get somebody for, I was mentioning somebody from Purdue that I would have liked on this roster, but he got drafted in the top 10. I was very surprised that he did. If you're a Knicks fan, you're excited about the season, but when you don't have the size that the Knicks are not going to have in the beginning of the season, you're going to have to worry because you got teams, like I said, even the 76ers. I mean, who's stopping Joel Embiid? Yeah. When you have a size issue like that, how are you going to be able to defend him? Now, okay, you give Joel Embiid 30, 35 points. You're already behind the 8 ball against teams like that. So I don't know how this benefits the New York Knicks. Now, and the whole Julius Randle thing, the bricklayer himself, him playing defense, it just doesn't make sense. The Knicks are going to have to make a move very quickly before the season starts. So they're going to have to figure this out. Like I said, Clint Capella is the best fit. I know Robert, what do they call him?
Robert, or Jeff called him Robert Williams.
Robert Williams, whatever.
Jeff's boy.
I don't want Robert Williams. I would rather Clint Capella because I just think that he's more athletic and I think he fits the way the Knicks want to play. And Tom Thibodeau played in the second half of the game this season, going up and down the court the way he did. I think Clint Capella is athletic, and I think he can play that style of game. And you don't need much more than just him blocking and playing defense in the paint. And when Mitchell Robinson does come back, then you have, you don't have to argue about any of that with the defense. Now, I like Ochoa. I like what he does. He played well last year, but teams are going to figure him out. And he's undersized at his position.
Yeah, he's lean.
And he's lean. So what's it going to take? What happens if he goes down? What are you going to have? OG Anunoby play center? I mean, it doesn't make sense. I think the Knicks got to figure this out, and I think they need to figure it out quick. I trust in Leon Rose. I trust what Leon Rose does. So if there's anybody that could figure this out, it would be Leon Rose. The Brook Lopez thing was available early this offseason. I think they should have jumped on it when they had the chance. I think this is going to hurt them if they go into the season this small.
Yeah, definitely something's concerning because you look at the size with Julius Randle, even at the 4, having trouble defensively. Like him trying to play as the 5, like that's ridiculous as it is. And you were talking about in the Eastern Conference just alone, like all the good teams that have big men that are going to be able to dominate. The Celtics have a good collection of them. Look at Cleveland, we talk about in the playoffs, so the size that they have, and the 76ers. Like these are all teams that are just going to physically wear on you. And Tom Thibodeau, his style of game on the defensive side is very physical. So if you're trying to have those guys play bigger, it's just going to wear on them out even more. And you don't want that kind of thing for an already injury-prone OG Anunoby, an already injury-prone Julius Randle. And that kind of thing does not bode well. Yeah, you can get away with small lineups against certain teams, like bad teams. All right, fine. You want to play Julius Randle at center against the Nets, go ahead. But like, you're not going to be able to get away with that on a daily basis. So the other option you have to consider, definitely try to get one of those before the season starts. One of those centers you could get.
If those teams are willing to do that.
A team that you can make a trade for where you don't have to give up too much. And then maybe you consider one in season. If a team starts slow, maybe if say Memphis, let's say Memphis starts slow for whatever reason, maybe you go after a Steven Adams or something like that, another veteran center that you can get. You need to get it more in quantity because the Knicks can't afford to be playing small where you're so predictable either. That's not going to help their identity as it is, as good as the depth may be for the Knicks. So they definitely have to get on it, especially with how many injury-prone players that they have on this team.
All right, Fish, you're a Knicks fan. I mean, this story is not going to make any Knicks fan very happy. You hear Mitchell Robinson won't be back until January or February. It makes you want to throw up. And when you hear Julius Randle playing the 5, it really makes me want to throw up.
Well, offensively, you can get away with Randle playing the 5 if you're going to do an offensive sets. He can shoot over guys. He's fast enough to get around centers. That's not the worry. The worry is on the defensive side of the ball. If you have another defender that's got the length to guard a center, then it doesn't necessarily have to be Julius guarding him. And they're talking about, and hold yourself, look, he is 6'9". They're talking about OG Anunoby guarding centers because he's done it before when Randle is on the court, Randle guarding the 4, Bridges 3, and they probably would have to bring Hart, actually probably have Bridges guard the 2 and then have Hart come on the field for the forward. That's okay, I guess. You're going to have to try to get away with that. OG's not the picture of health, so it's not exactly what you want to do. So the reason why they were able to get past the Sixers was they had bodies to throw at Embiid. Mitchell Robinson did a great job until Embiid cheap-shotted him, grabbing his ankles, pulling him down to the ground and re-injuring him very blatantly and intentionally and not getting suspended for it. He just got a flagrant 1. Which was bizarre at the time. They were just catering to this guy, I guess, so that he would play for Team USA. Well, whatever it is, it was garbage, and he really hurt this guy who was fragile already. And to be honest, he hurt him because I thought Mitch was playing him toe-to-toe. And that was the type of guy that you needed Mitchell Robinson for, those big, hulking centers. You can't really defeat a team like that without someone like Mitch. Now, you don't have him until middle of the year, so it's not the end of the world. It's not that you're not getting him back, but it's a more competitive East. They've got to try to keep pace with everybody and have another guy that they can count on because, as you could tell, you can't count on Mitch to stay healthy no matter what. So he's for the price he's at, okay, fine on the contract, not a big deal, but they got to find somebody. It's not Jericho Sims. We know it's not Jericho Sims. It could be Precious Achiuwa in spurts, but he got taken advantage of when he played larger minutes last year. So I don't know. Capella, I don't know what you have to give up for Capella. It might not be a ton. He is a little older. So that is a guy that I'd rather see them go get than having to spend on a guy like this, some draft capital. That's not where I'd want to go unless the draft capital is spent on the major move that everyone's been talking about. What if they go after Karl Anthony Towns?
He's not available.
That would be the spot.
He's not available yet. Not yet. He might be, but I don't think he's available yet. And I don't see the Minnesota going out there and saying, hey, you know what? We're going to give away one of our best players for nothing. Because the Knicks, remember, they gave up a lot to bring in Mikal Bridges. Now, not a lot, because those are going to be probably 30 or 25 picks. You know what I mean? It's every other year, and the Knicks can't trade the every other year draft pick. So that could be costly for the Knicks to make a move like that. But I think Mikal Bridges was a great move by Rose. There's no question that it was, and it will benefit him in the long run. But they're going to start the season very small, and that could cause injuries and problems in the long run. We'll see. I know Keith doesn't believe it's going to be a problem. I think it is going to be a problem early in the season, and we're going to see that. As long as Jalen Brunson plays at the top of his game, it might blind or take away the problem that the Knicks have, and but I still think the Knicks need to figure out how to fill in those gaps right now until Mitchell Robinson comes back. All right, before we go into our final story, your thoughts, Scoops?
No one's surprised here. I mean, we're talking about Mitchell Robinson, the guy that I don't remember if it was 2 seasons ago, who broke his foot, missed many months, came back, played 2 games to just break his hand. I don't remember if he broke his hand the first time and then broke his foot, or vice versa. Whole point is the guy is made out of glass. We all know that this guy is very, very fragile. And Fish actually said something that I was going to mention too, is I'm not entirely worried about the offensive side of Julius Randle if they decide to run 5, because like you said, they're going to be running a lot smaller ball until they get like a guy like Mitchell Robinson back. So I'm not worried about Julius Randle on the offensive side of the ball, which is where, of course, is the defensive side of the ball that scares me.
You do remember that Julius Randle's coming off a pretty bad injury.
Mm-hmm.
And is he going to be the same player? And what is it going to take for him to fall apart and get hurt again? And what are they going to do after? Remember, he's playing a guy that's much bigger than him. And what is it going to take? You're going to have a Joel Embiid slam him on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be out for, significant. And where they go then after that? So I don't want to put Julius Randle in harm's way. The whole point of making that move for Mikal Bridges, it gives the Knicks that depth that they needed offensively to move forward in the playoffs. Now, if he gets hurt, you put him in harm's way. I don't know if that's a smart move. And I want to hear Tom Thibodeau say, well, we'll put Julius Randle there at the 5. Yeah, that makes sense, Tom. That makes you really smart. It makes you as smart as, Joe Schmo over there, over there with Jerry Jones. That's just my opinion.
They could get away with it for some garbage teams, like Speedy was saying. It's still the first part of the regular season. Stretches, and with the second group, you can run Randall.
Maybe we should hire Jerry Jones. He can own the team. Actually, I like the fact that James Dolan isn't opening his mouth and staying away from the team. That shows me that he actually realizes that he has a GM that actually knows what he's doing. By the way, the Bengals are done. So, and by the way, there it is. Higgins could have made that catch. I think Higgins is going to have a great week next week. But is the Bengals done? 0-3. This is the first. I think this is the first time the Bengals have been 0-3 with the Joe Burrow stage. So, is it over for them? That's going to be the question. I'm very intrigued and very interested to see what happens. I mean, I have 40 seconds to try to get back into this, but I don't think that's possible.
I need to get the announced onside kick.
Caitlin Clark was unanimous Rookie of the Year and was also 4th in MVP voting. Angel Reese didn't seem bothered by Clark getting the unanimous Rookie of the Year, tweeting today she was blessed. Stephen A. Smith said the fact that the decision was unanimous was ridiculous and would have picked Reese over Clark before she got hurt. Former WNBA All-Star Cheryl Swoop said that Caitlin Clark was not dominating this season. What the hell is going on here? Shannon Sharp took shots at Stephen A. Smith and other ESPN analysts, saying they are minimizing her achievements this season. Clark averaged 19.2 points per game, 5.7 assists per game, and 8.1 assists per game. By the way, in her rookie season, she had better numbers than Steph Curry. Better numbers than Steph Curry. Okay? The great Steph Curry that everybody loves and adores. Her numbers were better than Steph Curry in her rookie season. And she's only going to get better. And she's changed the game and made the game better. And I don't agree with much of Shannon Sharp and what he has to say. And we all know what I feel about Stephen A. Smith, just my opinion. The fact that everybody is, again, back at, why is Cheryl Swoop speaking? Why do we have to hear Cheryl Swoops? I don't care if she's a Hall of Famer. I don't care what she did for the WNBA. I don't want to hear her speak.
She also played for the Fever, too, which is
I
funny.
don't care. I don't care who she played for. I don't want to hear her. And Stephen A. Smith saying that he would have given it to Angel. What are you, nuts? What are you, nuts? Have you watched it? I understand Stephen A. Smith knows basketball. He can't play basketball. He knows basketball. That's for damn sure. I've seen him shoot a basketball. That was enough said. I don't need to see it anymore. But he knows basketball. He knows how to write for basketball. Caitlin Clark has had one of the greatest rookie seasons we've ever seen a woman have. Yes. Look at those numbers. Those numbers aren't, they're not blinded to see what she's done for the game of basketball. All right? And she's helping the game grow. What is everybody's hatred of this woman? She deserved the Rookie of the Year. No matter, I don't know if she's the unanimous winner, but she is absolutely the Rookie of the Year. Even if Angel Reese played this year and averaged a double-double, you're going to tell me Angel Reese had a better season than Caitlin Clark and what she's done for women's basketball? Now, she should have been on the USA team. So should have Caitlin Clark. But nevertheless, the fact that Angel Reese believes in her little pea brain that she thinks that she was Rookie of the Year, well, I think she needs to look in the mirror and realize that Caitlin Clark deserves a little bit more credit for what she has done. All this craziness, all the people that have taken shots at her, everybody that's thrown out on the bus, and she still goes out there and plays the game. And she doesn't really throw anybody under the bus. How many people have picked on this woman? Told her that she doesn't deserve all the credit and all the stardom that she's got so far early in her career. She has done more for the WNBA than half these women have. And nobody wants to give her credit for what she's going to be bringing back to the WNBA in the future. These women should be looking up to her. These young kids are going to be looking up to her, what she is doing for the WNBA. Listen, in the last 10 years, do you think half of these girls that are going to college would even think or want to play basketball or even want to play basketball so they can go to the WNBA? No. Why do they want to do it now? Why does every young kid right now want to be an NBA player? Because of what Steph Curry's done. Remember, Steph Curry grew a couple inches when he went to college. Steph Curry was small. He had to change his whole shooting motion. He changed basketball, not for the better. That's just my opinion. But nevertheless, he's opened up eyes for young kids to want to be what Steph Curry has become in the NBA. And look, Steph Curry's making $200, $300 million. Who doesn't want to be Steph Curry right now? Caitlin Clark's going to change the game. She's going to open up opportunity where you can make money in so many different angles, so many different areas. Why is anybody taking shots at this woman? If anybody, they should be kissing her ass.
Yeah, and anyone that's fourth in MVP voting and saying that the person didn't dominate is ridiculous in itself for Cheryl Swoops to say that kind of thing. And you look at, like, you're saying there's only going to be 3 dominant players in the entire NBA, the three people who finished above Caitlin Clark in the MVP voting. I'm not saying Asia Wilson didn't deserve it. She had a tremendous year. And then there's Nafisha Collier and Breanna Stewart. But, like, you're saying there's only 4 good players in the NBA and WNBA in that case, which is just ridiculous in itself for her to say that. And Angel Reese, you want to say, all right, she wasn't dominant, that kind of thing either. Angel Reese was not even in the top 20 in the MVP voting. So it shows the difference of how Caitlin Clark was unanimous for the Rookie of the Year. And I think it was funny. I think the article I was reading on this, our friend Robin Lundberg was taking a shot at whoever was voting Angel Reese got 1 4th place vote for MVP or something like that. But nevertheless, like, Caitlin Clark got a 4th place vote for MVP, and you're going to say she shouldn't have been a unanimous Rookie of the Year is just insane.
It's sad. It really is sad because you're not going to give this girl any of the credit that when credit is due. Okay. She's taken on everybody's craziness over the last couple of months. Everybody. Remember Jeff coming on the show saying she wasn't this, she's not this, she's not going to have a good rookie year. Look what she's done. Now, she's not averaging 30 points a game. I thought she was going to average between 24 and 25, but she will. In 2 or 3 years, she'll be averaging close to 30. There's no question that this girl is the real deal, and she's going to change the WNBA for the better, for young girls to want to be Caitlin Clark, and for young girls. And I'm not saying Angel Reese isn't going to bring that to anybody's attention either. But if you sat down with Angel Reese right now, and she didn't say that she thought she was Rookie of the Year, but if you really sat down with her Angel Reese would probably tell you she was rookie of the year. 100%.
Yep.
If you sat with her right now and said, "Hey, Angel, really? Do you think if you actually played a full season of women's basketball, do you think you're the MVP over Caitlin Clark?" I guarantee you she would have said it. 100%.
I remember we were talking about it when she got drafted to Indiana too, like how bad that Indiana team was. They made the playoffs as the 6th seed, and while they're probably not going to beat a good Connecticut Sun team, like they got blown out yesterday, like the fact that they even made the playoffs for a team that's been like a lottery team forever, like shows a lot about Clark's value.
The fact is, and I don't care, Keith, you're going to say, well, I said 30, 40. I just see the type of player that she is. She's not just a shooter. She's not just a girl undersized that can rebound and pass and do things like she can do at her size and her ability. I think she's a phenomenal basketball player, and she's the perfect woman to move forward in the decades moving forward for young girls to want to be like her. And I think this is good for the WNBA. I don't care. I don't want to hear there are racist people out there. Okay. There's going to be racism no matter where you go, no matter what sport you're in. But give this girl some due. I mean, seriously, stop with this stuff. Stop with, oh, she's not this, she's not that. Who cares? The fact that she's helping the game grow, that's all it should matter to you. Everybody's hating on this woman. What is it going to take for them to just give her some credit? It's sick. It really is sick. Anyways. All right, Fish, your thoughts.
Here's some credit for you. Look at the stats on the board here. So my favorite thing about her is when they didn't put her on the Olympic team, she got furious. The All-Star game, they beat the Olympic team. And this is what she did after kick the crap out of him. And this is what she did after the All-Star break. 24.3 points, 5.5 rebounds. Again, she's a guard. 8 assists a game, 42.2 field goal percentage, which again, she's a guard. She's shooting a lot of outside shots, 36.7 from 3, 90.6 from the line, 1.33 steals, 0.68 blocks. That's quite the all-around game. Angel Reese is a get you the rebound and put it back type of a person. She has a little bit of a short game near the basket. And that's about it. But she's really good at it. That's not an MVP type of a player, though. That's not the skill set of an MVP player. So the fact that anyone's even talking about that's ridiculous because they're just harping on all the back and forth that's been going on since they were in college, the racial element of it. Everyone just wants to take a side. If you're just looking at it basketball, I mean, what's the equivalent of what is she, like an 18-10 power forward?
Yep.
A very good player, maybe on the All-Star team. That's what Angel Reese is. And then you have someone who's like averaging numbers that are somewhere between Jordan and LeBron numbers. What are you talking about? Who are we comparing here? You have to realize the talent here. She is an incredible shooter. She gets her own shot. She maybe takes her shot too much, but she's really good at it. It's like Steph Curry. No, yes. And except now he just hits all of them. So it's just yes. And oh yeah, maybe other people shouldn't do that. It's not great for the game if everyone does that, but they could do it. So why wouldn't they do it? She does things that are very unique. It's a really special player to watch play the game. I don't get that same feeling watching Angel Reese. I see a good basketball player, but I don't see someone that's a transcendent talent. Let's face it.
All right, Scoops, your thoughts.
Caitlin Clark is just slowly becoming the face, of the WNBA. She's a playmaker. She's a great shooter and a passer.
She's the face of basketball.
Pretty much.
I'm going to tell you this right now. She will be the face of basketball, not just the WNBA. Basketball. The NBA is looking for a superstar to really stand out. Her jerseys are selling like hotcakes. Guys are wearing her jerseys. I've seen 2 guys at the bar wearing Caitlin Clark jerseys. And by the way, 2 of them are not even white. Just so you guys know that. It wasn't, they were African-American. Just so you guys know that. So put that, whatever you want to put that on and whatever these racist remarks and things and stuff like that. It's ridiculous. We all should be comparable to one another. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. You go out there and you play the game. That's all it should matter. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No. Just you know, the fact that she's such a great passer, such a great shooter, she even talks trash like a pro. She just all around her game is just so admirable. Like, I don't see how you can hate on someone like this. And something like Fish said too, when I watch her, you know, as opposed to Angel Reese is a good ball player, but when I watch her, you could just see like this is talent. This is the face. This is going to be what evolves the sport itself right here. And I wanted to point out the fact too that she has taken a horrible team. This team is bad. This team has been bad since I'm looking back, 6 wins the one season, 5 wins the next season, 10 wins the next, 5, 13. This team was horrible. The first year that she gets in there, they finish 500, but they at least make the playoffs. So, I mean, that's a great turnaround, honestly, for a horrible team. And, you know, I don't see, like I said, I don't see what there is.
She'll win a championship.
She'll definitely win a championship.
She's going to win a championship. She'll probably win 2 or 3 of them. And and you keep saying a WNBA. I think she is going to take this even past that. I do. I think what she is doing and what she's going to transform the WNBA is going to help not only, even though the NBA don't need it, I think she's going to help look at the growth of the NBA to another form of just domination. I think she's going to change the game for not only for women's basketball, for men's. I think she's a very unique player. I think she's a likable player. What is the hatred behind it? I have no idea. You want to say race? Could be race. I don't know. But it is pretty fantastic to watch somebody go out there the way she has over the last, I would say, 3 months and just shut everybody up. Just like go out there and say, you know what, I'm just going to go play my heart out. I'm going to let my game do the talking. And she's not speaking about anything. And everybody that said all these derogatory, even people that shouldn't be opening their mouth and saying things about her. What has she done wrong besides go out there and play the game? It's just, it doesn't make sense. Honestly, it's hate. And it's sad what we are fighting for our country. This is a democracy of a country, and there's so many things that should be looked at and obviously fought by, you know, not just the players, but everybody around her. You know, it is despicable. And that's why she's got a lot of fans, because the fans see what's going on with the WNBA and what these players are doing to her. And she stands for more than that. And that is what I stand for, supporting what I think she is. And I think she's a great Samaritan of the game. And I think she's going to take this game to so many areas that nobody would have thought a player could do, not only for the WNBA, for professional women's sports. So I think very well deserved. 4th in MVP voting. That's unbelievable for a rookie who everybody thought was overrated. Overrated is not even the answer to what anybody should say. First of all, nobody should ever say ever that this woman is overrated. This woman deserves a lot more credit for the pressure she took, and to take on the responsibility to put this league on her shoulders says a lot about who she is as a player. So I'm so happy for her. And if we can get Caitlin Clark on a show, it would be special, because I would give her not only the thumbs up, I'd give her a hug, because I think that this woman deserves a little bit more credit than she is getting for what she has done this year. It's hard to do what she did, and to do it so miraculously and so fantastically. It just says what she is as a person, and I love it.
Keith, to answer your question, who thought she was overrated? That's your buddy Jeff.
A lot of people did. Snug did too. Okay, and different people that we've had say this on the claim, saying, and all the different takes that we've had saying that Caitlin Clark's overrated and all this other stuff. Stop. I don't want to hear it anymore. It's just shameful what people have said about this young lady who's going out there and putting the league on her shoulders and bringing endorsements, TV deals, because of who she is. And she doesn't even take the credit for it when she should. I would say, you know what? Yeah, I'll pat myself on the back. Yeah, I did this. Thank you. Thank you. All you ladies are going to make more money because of me. All you ladies have something to look forward to because of me. All you ladies that have kids or don't have kids that can buy clothes and all that other stuff and not have to go overseas is because of me. I'll just pat my back for everything. It's horrible. I think it's shameful. And as far as Stephen A. Smith saying that Caitlin Clark shouldn't have won, it just shows you how incompetently stupid he really is. Thank you to all the fans. Thank you, obviously, to Antoine Kaysen and Jason White for joining us. Thank you to, Mr. Fish for being, the great executive producer that he is and some of the content that he gives us throughout the show. Thank you to our Sports Minute, Tommy, for all the content that he gives us. We'll be back on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Good night, everybody.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.